don't even know. I don't even know, man. I was dreading this game for quite some time. I knew a lot of the expectations into this game were, I don't know. I knew the team was bad. The bowl matchup for this was the most lopsided I've seen of a bowl game since, I don't know, a bowl game that was intentionally picked. Not like that one, what was it, Shreveport bowl game? I think it might have been, is because like LA Tech was nearby, so they're like, fuck it, let's play a game. So they played against Army. You know, this game isn't necessarily. It was intentionally scheduled as Utah versus Nebraska. Number 15 Utah versus 7-5 Nebraska. This selection was absolutely disrespectful to Utah. Maybe not to Nebraska. They were able to face some, hard competition. It doesn't really help the good old, can't be top 25 teams. But, it was definitely a very disrespectful decision to even put us into this game. They had Illinois. They could have had Illinois. I know the pecking order is a bit different, but us versus Tennessee would have been less disrespectful than, this. Because 7-5, 8-4. I mean, that's a 1-win difference. It's a pretty big 1-win difference, but it's a 1-win difference nonetheless. So when, this game happens and we lose by 22. Okay. That's kind of what, the billing was. It's like expecting a middle of the road fighter in boxing to beat Mike Tyson. You just know he can't because it's prime Mike Tyson. So, okay, he lost by a lot. Yeah, it happened. What are you going to do about it? I've seen a lot of irrational takes from this game from very highly on the Kool-Aid juice that say that they need to fire Rule, and that Rule is taking this a wrong direction. Are you the same administration that fired Bo Pelini? Because remember, a coach only really becomes bad when you starting to lose more games. You remember last year, we were 6-6, and our bowl game was against Boston College. Now, Boston College this year went 2-10. Yeah, that's pretty horrific. Utah last year was 4-8. Now they're 10-2. That was mostly because they got a couple of, decent additions in the portal. I believe that the portal is more of a lottery system than anything, except for the cream of the crop players that go into it. It is a total crapshoot what you get from the portal. We rolled snake eyes on Jeff Sims. We rolled a 6 for Casey Thompson if we're, using 2 dice. We rolled a 6 for him. But we haven't rolled again. And unfortunately, next year we will have to use the portal because there is 0 chance that Latif starts next season except for injury. Because while I do believe he can become a good quarterback in the future, he needs a shit ton of development. I know, Dan Mullen's favorite word, development, but he needs development. He is not as ready to start as a freshman as Rayola was. given all the flaws that Rayola had, he was still a better freshman starter than Latif. It may, seem stupid to say, but that's just how it is. Rayola was ready to start. Latif was not. He doesn't have a red shirt anymore. Hopefully next year he's able to use it. Because we actually use a real quarterback. I don't know who it would be. I'm sure the team is already figuring out its best list. But we should not be heading into 2026 with Latif. I am a little pissed that Rule didn't put in Gramstead at any point. Especially on that final drive where he kept using timeouts. Definitely a lot of Utah fans are very pissed that, we kept trying to extend the game, but he was the last play. If this was a regular season game, I'm pretty sure Rule would have just fell asleep by that point. We've done it multiple times. Just, let the fucking clock run out. But it's a bowl game. It's a bowl game and we're overmatched. Please just let us have something. In the end, Utah lifts the trophy or whatever. It's their first bowl win since 2017. Which, geez, they make a bowl game a decent amount more, and we had more wins than them in that time span. Jesus. But, again, what were you expecting? Me? You want to ask my expectations? Was put up double-digit points. And we did that in the first quarter. We were very competitive in the first quarter. And then we kind of strayed away from our game plan. And that's where it went. We overthought it, as we had done pretty much the entire season. But it's not like I hadn't seen this before. It seemed pretty painful for other people to watch, but, this is what I expected. This is what you expect when you have an overmatched team. This, in my opinion, was overmatched than any of the G5 versus Power 4 games. This is way overmatched than any of the playoff games. Because they deserved it. We did not deserve this bowl game. And I understand there probably was, pecking order and such. They, pretty overmatched, they pick a low from the Big Ten order, but top from the Pac-12. I get it, but, come on. We got to reorder this at some point. It's not like I'm asking you to give me Northwestern's opponent or Minnesota's opponent, because I can guarantee you we probably lose to New Mexico. But goodness me, this was a bowl game that the instant that I saw this and go, no. But that doesn't tell the full story, because we scored 22 points. Okay, the offense closed up shop from the second quarter until the 6-8 minutes left. I hate that number. 6-8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That was it. And just didn't really do anything. Who gives a shit anyway? We're kind of just trying to do whatever, but they showed up. Utah showed up a good amount. And, hey, you just lost your coach. You seemed pretty pissed off. I'm surprised that you did not get to 50. We gave up less than Kansas. No, K-State. So, woohoo. Yay. It's not the biggest blowout, which is what I was hoping that we, didn't have. That was a different bowl game, not a 41-6 game. So that's nice. It's not the biggest blowout, but it definitely was the biggest discrepancy of team, just based off of resume. Would we have been closer if Rayola was in this? Obviously. But would he have won? Just like the USC game, I say no. Maybe we could have actually won more games down the stretch, but, it's wishful thinking. But now we have to move on. His 2025 season is over. One more thing. Never kick return. All those kick returns are bad. There was not a good one at all. Please stop. Thanks. We have to move on to 26. I hear the fireworks now. I'm recording this at 9:15. Why the fuck do I hear this bro, this is why sometimes it sucks, but we definitely need to improve upon this season. And honestly, I feel like going 7-5 again with that schedule next season, as of now, would be an improvement. Now, obviously, teams change, schedules differ. The combination of Oregon and Washington is better than USC and UCLA, simply because UCLA was so incompetent. But that's something for them. For now, we need to acquire talent. Hopefully, through the transfer portal, we're able to get a good amount of people and be able to, leverage a couple of deals. But the big thing is that we do need to find a quarterback. A quarterback that actually fits Horkerson's scheme. Because Rayola didn't seem like it. We also need, our glorious new defensive coordinator to show up better than whatever Snow was putting out there. At least I hope it was Snow. Better not been that guy, but I do think this team will be better in terms of talent next season. I just don't know whether it's going to show on the record. I know, very level-headed take, but as long as we're able to find a quarterback in the portal and find other defensive line prospects, we just need to build the trenches, man. Build the trenches, build a quarterback, go into 26. Obviously, non-con isn't really going to tell us anything. As long as they don't put a week 0 Big Ten game for the trillionth time, we should, be able to just accurately assess what we have now. But I think that'll be it. I don't know what else to do. This team, it was a lost cause the moment that it happened, and I'll do a full season recap at some point. I don't know when, probably after the national championship. But for now, I do also have to do basketball. I'll do separate ones because, woo. Yeah. So, I think that'll be it. See you guys later for more of the basketball. Basketball.